The emergency beacon died with a pathetic whimper, its final pulse disappearing into the static-filled void. Lieutenant Marcus Chen stared at the cracked display of his escape pod, watching the life support systems tick down their remaining hours. 48, maybe 50 if he rationed his breathing, not that it mattered. The pod's distress signal had a range of 12 light hours. The nearest colonial outpost was 300 light years away. His mother's voice echoed in his helmet's communication buffer, the last message he'd received before the Zheng-He exploded. "Marcus, sweetheart, remember to check your oxygen reserves twice, and don't forget to—" The transmission had cut off when the antimatter containment failed. Commander Reeves had called him Mama's boy in front of the entire crew just hours before the catastrophe. 26 years old, youngest navigation officer in the fleet, and he still received daily check-in calls from Dr. Sarah Chen, xenoanthropologist, and apparently the most overprotective mother in human space. The planet below was designated K847b, a Class M world that orbital scans showed as barely habitable. Oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, gravity at 1.2 standard, temperature range technically compatible with human survival. It wasn't on any settlement charts, wasn't cleared for colonization. The database listed it as pending xenological survey, indigenous population suspected. Marcus had two choices: die in orbit or die on the surface. He chose the one with dirt under his boots. The pod's heat shield screamed as it hit atmosphere. Marcus gripped the restraints, feeling his ribs compress under the deceleration. The pod's guidance system was half-melted slag, so he came down hard, crashing through what looked like a canopy of bioluminescent trees before slamming into a clearing. He tasted blood. His left arm hung at an angle that made his stomach turn. The pod's hatch hissed open, and humid air flooded in, thick with the smell of ozone and something organic, almost like cinnamon. Marcus stumbled out, his emergency med kit clutched in his good hand. The sky above was a deep violet, 3 moons visible even in daylight. The trees surrounding the clearing pulsed with soft blue light, their branches forming geometric patterns that seemed almost deliberate. That's when he saw them. They emerged from the tree line, bipedal, roughly humanoid in shape but distinctly alien. Their skin had the texture of polished stone, with veins of what looked like circuitry running beneath the surface. Their eyes were large and multifaceted, like living optics. There were 12 of them, arranged in a precise semicircle. Marcus raised his hands slowly, trying to remember first contact protocols through the haze of pain. The translator implant in his jaw vibrated, attempting to parse their language, but getting nothing. The tallest one stepped forward. When it spoke, its voice resonated in frequencies that made Marcus's bones ache. The translator finally caught something. "The one who walks with the mother." Marcus blinked. "I don't understand." Another spoke, this one smaller, with crystalline growths along its shoulders. The translator struggled. 300 cycles, waiting. The mother told us." "The mother?" Marcus repeated, his medical training kicking in even as his consciousness wavered. Shared mythology? Convergent religious evolution? The tall one moved closer, and Marcus saw what it held, a device of some kind, clearly technological but organic, pulsing with the same blue light as the trees. It pressed the device against Marcus's broken arm. The pain vanished. Marcus watched in amazement as the device seemed to scan his injury, then began projecting some kind of field that realigned the bone. It wasn't just healing. It was restructuring at the cellular level, knitting muscle and tissue with precision that would make the best surgical AI jealous. "How?" Marcus started, but the tall one interrupted. "The mother showed us. She came 30 years ago. She said her son would come. She taught us to heal, to wait, to prepare." The translator was working better now, probably adapting to their speech patterns. 30 years ago. Marcus felt something cold settle in his chest. "Describe this mother." The smaller one stepped forward, and its eyes projected a hologram, crude but recognizable. A human woman in a colonial survey uniform, dark hair, sharp eyes, a scar above her left eyebrow from a lab accident. His mother. "Dr. Sarah Chen," Marcus whispered. "But that's impossible. 30 years ago, she would have been—" Wait. He accessed his neural implant's historical files, pulling up his mother's service record. There was a gap. 6 months listed as classified xenological survey. He'd never questioned it. She'd never mentioned it. The tall one touched his shoulder gently. "The mother said you would come when you most needed us. She said you would be lost and we should find you. She left knowledge, left healing, left the waiting." Marcus looked at the device still humming against his arm, at the precise formation of the tribe, at the technology that was somehow both alien and familiar. His mother had been here. She'd met these beings, taught them, prepared them, for him. "She said you were called weak by your tribe," the tall one continued. "She said they did not understand that strength comes in many forms. She said you would prove them wrong." Marcus thought of Commander Reeves, of the sneers in the mess hall, of the whispered jokes about Mama's boy. He thought of his mother's constant check-ins, her meticulous care, her insistence that he carry extra medical supplies, extra rations. She hadn't been overprotective. She'd been preparing him. "How long will you wait with us?" the small one asked. Marcus checked his implant. The Zheng He's destruction would be noticed in 3 weeks. Search and rescue would take months to reach this sector. But he wasn't stranded anymore. He was exactly where he needed to be. "As long as it takes," Marcus said, "and I have a lot to learn." The tribe moved closer, and Marcus felt something shift in his chest. Not fear, not confusion, but purpose. His mother had looked 3 decades into the future and had seen this moment. She'd woven a safety net across space and time. Maybe they'd been right to call him Mama's boy, but they'd never understood what that